Muhammad's a racist. Anything else?
Muhammad's a white man with black slaves.
What proof do you have?
If I sold two white men for a singular black man, so let's say I own like a million. No, sorry, I own 100 white slaves, and I see one black dude, right? And he comes like pledges allegiance to me and my little group. It's called the Davidites, right? Then the black guy slave master comes over to me and tells me, "Yo, that's my slave over there. Return him." I'm like, "Hold on. He's a me now. Here's what I'm gonna do."
فبايع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم على الهجرة ولم يشعر
Follow Jesus. Muhammad doesn't love you either. No, you don't. You don't know who he is. You don't know who he is. You can't love someone you don't know.
Again, where does it say that the slave is white or Arab? It doesn't mention that anywhere in the Hadith. You're coming to a conclusion.
So,
Again, you're coming to a conclusion.
So-
Go ahead, have your phone, please.
the slave that came to him was of a kind different from the two black slaves. So notice, he has to mention that the slaves are black to distinguish them from everybody else who is involved in the conversation.
Yeah.
So the fact that it mentions they are black indicates that the slave that ran to Muhammad was other than black. Now, in the same way I told him,
Can I see the book? Which book it was? Sorry.
Sahih Muslim 1602.
Muslim, where is this?
And I believe one of them has like a bit of a wild title. Is it the book of, yes, I love this. The chapter title is amazing. The chapter title of this occurrence appears in a chapter called the following: The Permissibility of Selling Animals for Animals of the Same Kind and of Different Quality. So this notion where Muhammad sells two black slaves for one other than black
What about
slave
Bilal ibn Rabah?
appears where you have a chapter being called the permissibility of selling animals. Subhanallah.
All right.
So, we established earlier that if I am a slave owner and I own 100 white slaves, a black slave comes to me and then pledges allegiance to the Davidites, I'll take him in, and then if his slave master comes over and says I want him back and I give him two white slaves for whatever the guy who joined me is, what would that make me? You surmised that would result in him being somebody who made preferences on the status of people
Well, again,
according to their
what did you say
skin.
before? They said pledge allegiance, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So wouldn't that entail that the slave pledged allegiance to the Prophet? Hence, according to the Prophet, he has different qualities. Hi. So, what are you entailing exactly?
So I'm
So
entailing
you're telling that a Muslim man, according in the eyes of the Prophet, is more valuable than a non-Muslim man.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what is your point?
So effectively,
So what is your point? You're saying he's racist.
yes.
But then you're saying a Muslim man
Yep.
is worth more than two non-Muslim people.
No.
What does that have to do with race?
Hold on 1 second. Who said that the slaves weren't Muslim?
You said they pledged allegiance.
No, the singular slave pledged allegiance.
It says in the Hadith bay'ah.
Yes, the singular slave who ran away from his master pledged allegiance. The slaves that were sold in his place, who said they were Muslim?
It's implied.
Where?
Same way you said it's implied that they didn't. That the guy didn't pledge allegiance.
No,
Wait,
I said it
Sorry, the same way you said it's implied that the slave wasn't black.
because he specifies that the other slaves were black.
Okay, and he specifies that this slave pledged allegiance to him.
Yes,
Bay'ahu.
because he hadn't done so before. Now, who's to say that the slaves hadn't already done so?
How do you know? Because they probably haven't. They probably
Well,
haven't.
you would need to then, because for example, here's what I'll say.
What proof do you have that they did?
Here we go.
We have the same amount of proof.
No. Here we go. If the slaves were non-Muslim, then they would have been characterized with the fact that they were non-Muslim as opposed to the fact that they were black.
Mate, okay, what about Bilal ibn Rabah? Do you know who Bilal ibn Rabah
So
is?
no.
No.
You're running to Bilal, right? Now,
but-
Bilal's great, but Bilal was also still a slave. He couldn't leave Muhammad's side, right? And Muhammad just purchased him. He didn't free him, he purchased him.
He freed him.
Now, no, he didn't.
Fakk raqaba.
If he freed him, he would have been able to go home. He never was able to go home. So,
He was able to go home after the Prophet
after
death,
Muhammad died.
After Muhammad died, he left Medina off of sadness. When he tried to give the call to prayer, he cried upon saying, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, out of his love for the Prophet, the man who freed him, the man who treated him as an equal to Abu Bakr, the man who treated him as an equal to Umar ibn al-Khattab, the man who treated him as an equal to his own cousin, Bilal.
Not because of the quality of him as a human being made in the image of God, but because he could sing. So
No,
basically,
what-
he used
the
it as
Adhan,
a
the
tool.
Adhan came later
So,
on.
No, the Adhan,
The Adhan
was
came
the,
later
the Adhan
on.
was
The
the
Adhan
very
came-
reason why he freed him, because he heard him singing. So,
No, wait, mate, you're confusing two different people.
you're going aside.
You're confusing two different people. No,
It's-
I'm
it's
not
the same
going
person.
aside.
You're
Listen
going
to
aside.
me. Listen to me. Look.
We established earlier that if I sold 2 white slaves for 1 non-white slave, I would be a racist. So therefore, definitionally, Muhammad satisfies those preconditions, making him a racist, according to your criteria.
No, I said but you didn't say he pledged allegiance. When he
I said,
listen to you talk.
hold
Now
on,
listen
hold
to you
on.
talk.
I said specifically that somebody would come and pledge allegiance to the Davidites. I said Davidites for a reason. My group. I said that already in the first premise.
Yeah,
And you agree with me.
Baya'ahu. You know what baya'ahu means?
So, whether or not
please let me continue. I listened to you very respectfully. Now let me continue.
You're running away from my question.
I'm not running away,
because
I'm answering
we
your
already
question.
established something.
Oh my
I
God.
would be a racist if I did that. So if Muhammad does, he's a racist too. Done. Simple as that.
No, but again,
No,
difference
no,
is,
nothing
difference
else.
is there's the pledge of allegiance. Baya'ahu. He pledged
Alright.
allegiance to him.
Let me bring you more Muhammad racist stuff. That's fine. If that was fine for you, let me bring you more.
Right? Bilal ibn Rabah was purchased before the migration to Medina. Okay? Bilal ibn Rabah was freed before the migration to Medina. The one who was bought, because his voice was nice, came after Mecca was liberated.
That is Bilal.
That isn't Bilal. These are two different people.
That is Bilal.
That isn't Bilal. Bilal
That
was
is
in
Bilal.
Medina when the Shahada, when the Adhan was revealed. Please, I'll give you a book. I'll actually buy it for you and I'll give it to you. It's called The Sealed Nectar. You should read it. Listen, learn about the actual timeline of events before you start speaking on it. Bilal was purchased before the liberation of Mecca.
Because of his voice.
Not because of his voice. He was purchased before the migration to Medina.
So,
What proof
because
do you have that Bilal was purchased because of his voice?
I believe that is a telling. I can probably pull up the hadith for you if you'd like.
You can
But
pull up,
before we get there,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you more stuff. So, again, you better listen very, very carefully. Let me lay out a principle here. If I said that I had a dream, and in my dream there was a Chinese woman crying, and that Chinese woman crying is the sign of an incoming calamity in London, what would you say I am?
I would say you've had a vision. I
Okay.
would say that vision is, if you're a prophet, that's a prophetic vision.
How does a Chinese woman link to a calamity in London? How?
I am not quite sure, but it could be. It could easily be that that's the case.
Can you explain how?
There could be an oppressed group of people in a certain place. So one of them crying could signify calamity in that place.
No, in London. I said London.
Yeah, London. Chinese people could be oppressed here. There's a lot of Asian hate here.
So I said
So I don't really get your point.
I have a dream of a Chinese woman crying in a different country, and I interpret this as an incoming calamity in London. Because of a Chinese woman crying, a calamity is coming. And you're going to tell me that I'm just, being very wild with my interpretations.
No, well, again. If there's, for example, an oppressed group of people in somewhere, so and so, or oppressed group of people here in London, okay, you see a Chinese lady crying, does that not signify that there could be a calamity coming down
Okay,
in London?
so there is no oppressed group in this example. There's no oppressed group. I just had a vision and I interpreted it as such.
What proof do you have that there is no oppressed group in this example?
In my example that I'm giving, my hypothetical, there is no oppressed
Yeah,
group.
in your hypothetical, I know your hypothetical is based off a hadith. Give
Yes.
me the hadith. Give me the hadith.
No.
Give me the hadith. Don't give me the hadith.
I wanna lay up a principle
running away.
first before. Don't worry, you read the hadith. Don't worry about it. But before we go, I wanna lay up a principle. If I said this, is that not me insinuating that somehow an Asian woman is tied to calamity because she's Asian.
No, it's not. It does not.
So
Again,
what
you're
is it saying?
Again, it's just saying that because you envision an Asian woman does not mean necessarily that all Asians are caused calamity. It doesn't mean anything.
Why?
What you're
Why
saying,
would I tie
Oh my
calamity
God.
to an Asian woman? Just out of curiosity.
No,
Of all
because
the
you're
things.
not tying Asian women to calamity. You're tying the crying to calamity.
No.
You're just running away from the argument
An
again.
An
You
Asian
already
woman-
got stuff about Bilal wrong. You're
I
getting
didn't
more
get
stuff
anything about
wrong.
Bilal wrong.
You got stuff about
So an
pledge of
Asian woman's
allegiance wrong,
crying.
and you keep on talking. You keep on talking. Again, I'm telling you, the Asian woman crying could be a sign of calamity because she is crying, not because necessarily she's Asian.
I see. All right, fair enough.
Being descriptive about your visions does not make you a fucking racist, does it? Sorry for the language.
Sahih al-Bukhari, 7039.
Bukhari.
Read that in week 2. So somehow, again, with Muhammad and black people, there's never anything positive to say about black people in Muhammad's world.
Yeah, okay. Oh, look here.
Okay.
Settling at Maha'i. Yeah?
Okay.
He's settling there. There's an epidemic in Medina. The epidemic of Medina is being transferred to Maha'i. So someone crying in a different place is signified as you already have illness in this place. It's a signifying that the illness could be spread to there. That is very straightforward in my opinion. I don't really get your point. Again, and black people at the
The
time,
Hadith reads this.
and the black people at the time were oppressed. Do you not know that?
Yeah, by Muhammad. Concerning
By
the
Muhammad?
dream, oh yes.
What about Bilal ibn Rabah who was held to high regard?
He has so many slaves that he could sell 2 for 1. And they were black. Concerning the dream of the Prophet in Medina, the Prophet
They did,
said,
but why?
I
Yeah,
saw
I
in a
don't
dream
believe
a
it's because they
black
pledged
woman
allegiance. The
with
ones-
unkempt
the ones
hair
they pledged
going
allegiance.
out of
2 Muslims
Medina
are more
and
than one.
settling in Mahad. I interpreted that as a symbol of the epidemic of
We're talking about that
Medina
later, I'm just
being
gonna
transferred to
cook him
Mahai,
and cook you.
namely Al-Jufa. So, because in his interpretive method, a black woman with unkempt hair is symbolic of a pandemic.
How is that? No,
that's
her
crazy.
crying, her having unkept hair
it
could
doesn't-
signify her being sick.
It doesn't say she's crying. And
Black women with unkempt
you
hair.
can have unkempt hair without being sick.
Going out of Mahai.
So somehow,
again, no, but again,
a black woman
maybe,
is an indicator
can you listen to me?
of a pandemic.
All I'm saying is, a black woman with unkempt hair.
That sounds kind of racist.
um,
If I said that about any group of people, you call me racist.
okay.
Muhammad says it, so it's kind of racist.
No, okay, maybe listen. First off, I saw someone giving you countless black people. Who
You-
were
you
really
give me
high-regard.
one,
I gave you
Bilal.
multiple, but okay. I can
There's
give
no
you
other
more. I can give
person.
you more. I can give you more.
Huh?
Raisin
Raisin head. Let's do
Oh,
raisin
yeah,
head. Let's do raisin
I
head.
know the one you're talking
Let's
about.
do raisin
I
head.
love that one because I'm
Let's
gonna
do
give you
raisin
it
head.
wrong. First off, the unkept hair could easily signify disease. Because when you are sick, because when you are sick, it's the first thing you know. Oh, let me fix my hair.
He's giving him the worst case, even if it's an utopian. He's giving you the worst case, and the worst case he talks about an utopian. He couldn't get anybody else. For a worst case, why didn't you talk about?
He's not talking about worse for the raisin
Yes,
man.
sir, you have
for
to
the
follow your
raisin
leader,
man.
even if,
You know
which
that,
means
innit?
it's worst
You know
case.
that.
Now the worst
Yes.
case that you can have
What-
is an utopian.
Who is he
Come on,
talking
that's
to?
racist.
Who
And
is
then
he
goes
talking
and
to?
call him a raisin head. Come on. First of all, he makes an utopian the worst case. Second, he tells them that he's got raisin head. He looks like a man with a raisin.
No. Again, first off, who is he talking to? Do you know who he's talking to? He's talking to a bunch of racist Arabs at the time. Okay.
He's being racist as well with them.
So wait.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Imagine if I go to the deep south in America
Yeah.
and I'm talking to a bunch of Klan members about
Yeah.
why they shouldn't be racist to black people. Instead, I call black people the N-word because that's what they use.
And even
No.
you're laughing.
That works, right? That works, right?
That only destroys his
No,
argument.
because
No,
that's
you know
different.
the hypocrisy.
Because, for example, you're talking about Christianity here. You're telling them you should follow, you should obey the one who rules you, even if.
Worst case.
No.
Why worst case is a black
Because
man?
again, you're talking to people who are ignorant. For them, the worst case is a black
Oh, well,
person.
there you go. They're
Educate them,
ignorant. They're
but don't-
ignorant. It's
don't
okay
go
to be
with
racist.
them.
It's okay to.
Educate
No,
them,
for
but don't
a
join
clan,
them.
if you go to a
Because you're
clan
in-
member and tell
if
him,
I'm in the company, then I'm okay. Then I can
no,
speak that.
if you go to a clan member now and tell him, obey your leader no matter who.
Even if they're an N-word.
No, not even if they're anywhere. Whoa.
Wait. So he draws the line there, but raising hand is okay.
No, again.
Well, raising hell would be
didn't
the
say-
N-word of the day in Arabia, no, for a black person. Right, yeah, that's what it would be.
No,
It's the equivalence.
He's actually making fun.
Yes.
no, he just.
Raisin head. He's making fun. It's so clear.
You didn't think
Well,
it was
you
funny
do not
when
want to
it was
admit
said.
it.
When it was said,
He's using a term.
openly laughed when it
He's
was
using a
said.
term that these racist Arabs would have used to disparage a black person, to describe a black person. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
He didn't use it to describe it. Maybe read it. إذا كانت رأسه كأنها رأس
Raisin
الزبيب.
head.
He was like, even if he did look like he was raisin head. Raisin head signifies an old
Even if
person.
he did look like
No.
a-
Because raisins are wrinkly.
How could we?
And dark.
Yeah, put that to another thing. Even if he did look like a.
Or if you go to a clan member now, and you go,
So you talk the way
let
they
me talk. No, let me speak,
Yeah.
and tell him. You go to them in the time of bomb. Say, obey the president, no matter who it is.
Even if they are a...
Then they're gonna be like,
it's
oh,
okay for
even
me."
if it's a fucking black person.
Yeah, so
Then-
it's
then
okay.
you-
No,
yes.
that's not what's being
Even
said
if it's a
here.
black person.
That's not what's being said here. That's not what's being said. They're not adding an adjective to black person. Exactly. They're not adding an adjective to like a black person.
What if he
They're
said, even
using
if they're
a
wrinkly old black
derogatory...
person?
Sorry?
If someone told you, oh, even if it's a wrinkly old black person, you'd say yes, even if it's a wrinkly
Yeah,
old
but
black
Okay.
that's an
person.
extreme case.
That's-
So you're agreeing that's an extreme case.
Yes, it's an
And
extreme
for an
case for
extreme
the
case, you
people
need a
he's
black
talking
person.
to.
Okay, so
For the people
a-
he's talking
so
to.
wait.
Extreme case.
A wrinkly old black person is a descriptor. That's all it is. It's a descriptor,
Because
right?
the very fact that even if you didn't say raisin,
It's a descriptor. This is a derogatory term,
in other words,
and Muhammad is using it to talk to racist Arabs because he himself is among
Do you
them.
know who Jalebib is? You know,
So you're just gonna skip this again and go
No,
to
no, no,
some
no,
other
no,
black
no.
person.
you know who Jalebib is?
Who is Jalebi?
Jalebib was one of the slaves of the Prophet. The Prophet ﷺ has a hadith saying, I am from Jalebib and Jalebib is from me. He said this about his cousin and about his grandson. أنا من حسين وحسين مني. I am from Hussein and Hussein
Did
is
he
from me.
enslave his grandson and his
I mean,
cousin?
he can't be
No,
But
but
he
he freed
enslaved Jalebi.
You
So therefore,
Yeah,
that
but
would
he freed them.
mean
Do you know
that
how
he
the Prophet
held
treated
them
slaves?
at
Do you
a
know-
lower standards. Well, if you want to know how to treat the slaves, oh boy, do I have one for you? If you want to know how Muhammad treated slaves, well check this out.
Maria,
Oh, there's Maria. That's not great either.
How about the swapping?
Huh?
The swapping made with
Well, actually,
black slaves for a white one.
yeah, I've already done that. Let's look at when.
That's not necessarily white. You know, most people at the time were brown. So
Alright, yeah, but still,
but still,
I don't really get your
still
point.
the comparison.
It's
Still the
Again,
two for
it
one.
was one Muslim.
What the man was saying,
There
that
was
if
one
you
Muslim
tap me
man
on
who
my left-
placed
That's the word I got.
If you tap me on my left shoulder,
Ah,
and you go to
that's another good one. That's another good one.
heaven. No, good one.
That's another good one.
and also your faces will be blackened.
By the way,
That's another good one. Oh, there's so many.
I said you got a better one.
I
man.
have nothing against
But I just have something against like them.
everybody has an opinion. You know?
Again, most things I'm trying to say are in Arabic, and I'm a native Arabic speaker, so like for me it's really hard to translate most things in my head to English.
Okay.
So like that might be where I could struggle sometimes. So like honestly, if I had someone who's like a more fluent English speaker than I was with me here, it would be easier for me to debate. But again, yeah.
It seems, yeah, I know you got extremely.
Yeah.
I've had a very good conversation.
Yeah, I know. Look, mate,
seem
I can
extremely
speak
well
English.
versed in
I'm
English language.
yeah, but again, there's a lot of words that I just don't know the meaning of English.
To the points that you get.
No, it's the word.
And if you
It's
don't
the word.
understand them, you can always ask us and we can explain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing the famous left shoulder, right shoulder hadiths. So let's
First off,
let's get
yeah,
it from.
مشكات المصابيح سنن أبي داوود يلا جريد ضعيف
I'm trying to, huh?
جريد ضعيف go up
I'm trying
go
to see which
Yeah.
one. These are different hadiths. I'm trying to find the one that I'm talking about. Supplicated.
صحيح
Struck him on the shoulder. Struck him on the shoulder. Struck him on the shoulder. Not shame and regrets. Struck him on the shoulder. Nope. Where's that hadith? Maybe the first one. Okay, so stroke him on the shoulder. Yeah, okay, fine.
No, go down. I just want to go down
Yeah.
real quick.
Sahih Muslim
Great.
2856.
Hukum.
Huh?
Sahih Muslim 2856.
Hassan.
Okay.
Hassan.
1 second.
But Sahih Muslim is Sahih.
Wait, show me. Can you see?
I'll give it.
I'm getting it.
I'm seeing another one.
Is this 356? Is it A or B?
They'll have slight variation. You can read both.
There's A and 2856. I'm seeing A and B.
Read A or B. Here, this is what it's giving me, but I don't know. So Allah created Adam. When He created him, He struck his right shoulder. This is.
I'm getting 2856 with an A and a B variant.
What is A and what is B?
Can you show me the
They're not
hadith?
very
There should be
long.
slight differences between the two.
They're not very long.
Not very long. Then
Yeah.
This is different.
Let me. That's fine. 1 second. I'll
maybe
find this.
Numbering, I guess.
I'll find
I
it.
different numbering or like the website's a bit wanky. Because some
One
of the websites,
second.
like I don't even trust the website to be honest. Like to be honest, like I don't really trust the websites because neither do I do for Christianity. By the way, that's like that also applies to Christianity. In case you guys are wondering.
It's just taking what's already in the Hadith books and putting them online. That's all it is.
Yeah, I know. But some translations pretty crap. Again.
That's fine. You have the Arabic there. Stroke his shoulder.
Yeah, that's why I read the Arabic.
All right. Well, the first place I'm finding it is in Miskat al Masahib. So yeah, it's there for you. It's there. So for some reason, there's a dichotomy between whites and black. Black bad, white good. So again, I'm just curious. Why is that always a recurring theme with the things of Muhammad? And then we can talk about more things like darkened faces. Yeah. So there must be a way to counterbalance that, because if it keeps knocking over,
No, that's lower it.
yeah, lower it,
That's all we can do.
make the base wider.
Great
see what happens.
Hassan.
Yeah.
The grade Hassan. It's not
Great Hassan. So what?
Hassan means it's could be fabricated pretty
No,
easily.
that's not what Hassan
And,
means necessarily.
No,
Hassan.
Hassan means like there's a good principle from it. But
So
again, it's not-
Hassan does not mean that the information is false.
Hassan means that there is a good concept from it, but the hadith itself does not necessarily have a good chain. Chain of
Yeah, but
narration.
the chain doesn't guarantee that truthful information is passed over.
No,
the Sahih
yeah, but it does
Hadith,
a bit more. Wait,
the
sorry,
Sahih
sorry,
Hadith, that's literally.
Sorry, I'm getting a call from my father. I'm like, actually, look, legitimately.
Go ahead. I'm not judging you. Go ahead.
You know, because I.
Go ahead. Take a call over there and come back. You can take the call over there and come back. It's fine.
Give me a second.
I already know what to say. Yeah. It's almost like knowing your.
No worries. You gotta go.
No. I don't. As you can see, it's just my dad calling me. Telling me. Anyways, as I was saying,
The issue is that there
you-
appears to be a recurring
again,
theme. Black things are bad, white
again.
things are good.
Again, this could have a metaphorical meaning. Do you not
Okay.
think God has
Does
metaphors?
it? Does it have a metaphorical
Yeah,
meaning?
probably.
Okay. So there are offsprings of Adam that are doomed to go to hell, and some that are doomed to go to heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those who sin, you would go to hell.
Right.
Hence,
But-
their scales will be black on the day of judgment.
What's with the whole I don't care part? So Allah is just saying, strike the shoulder, things come out, I don't care. Go to hell, I don't care. Go to heaven, I don't care. It's implying that it's a
Right.
meritless system, that they're being judged on something that they can't control.
No, it's judging that if you have more sins and you don't believe in God,
I don't see that here. I don't see any of that
it's
here.
a metaphor. Do you not think God has metaphors?
Well, it depends, right?
You don't
So,
think God can use metaphors?
when you don't like something and you call it a metaphor because you don't agree with the message, right? It's still symbolizing something.
Again,
even if it's a metaphor.
Then I have a question. Then why are there so many black Muslims, and from the time of the Prophet up till now?
Slavery, basically slavery is the
no, okay.
answer.
What about the Somalis? Somalis
Slavery,
weren't slaves.
slavery still.
They weren't conquered by Arabs.
They weren't conquered by Arabs. But
How is Somalia a country in East Africa,
It's only-
almost 100% Muslim.
It's only 10 million people. It's not a very big country.
I mean, yeah, it's only 10 million people.
Yeah, it's not very big.
Only
I
10
mean,
million,
yeah,
yeah.
it's only 10 million. For example, I come from Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have ethnic groups that have 50 million people in them. It's not very
I
big.
know.
So
I know.
ultimately, what happened in Somalia
That
is
was
a simple case where over time, due to a combination of Islamic
Ethnic
oppression,
Somalis.
yes,
They're all ethnically from the land.
that's fine. But then that
Islamic
didn't
oppression,
stop them.
how? They
Sorry?
weren't conquered by Arabs. Again,
They were not
I
conquered
keep on
by
having to
Arabs
come
in a
back to this
direct
point.
sense.
They-
They were not conquered by Arabs in a direct sense. However, economically, militarily, they were not
economically,
going
so.
against the Arabs to begin with. And also, a lot of Arabs sold Somalians into slavery, which is why you have a large population of Somali people or Somali descent people in Yemen. So it did happen.
And again, a
so
lot of
it
Yemeni-
still wasn't
No,
positive.
the reason why you have a lot of Somali descendant people in Yemen is
This
because
is slavery.
you are aware that Ethiopia at one point conquered Yemen. That's why we have coffee today.
Same slavery, man.
So yeah,
Islamic
the
based slavery.
Ethiopians also enslaved Yemenis. I don't really get your point. The reason
So
why you have
they
this is
traded them to
because
who? Arabs.
They traded
So,
them to
Arabs.
they traded Arabs to fellow Arabs. You're right.
No, because Ethiopians and Somalians aren't Arabs. They're Africans.
Yemenis.
Arabs don't come from Africa. So
Yeah, again. Ethiopia, the Ethiopian kingdom, conquered Yemen. There's a part of Yemen which was conquered. That's where they started brewing coffee. That's why we have coffee today, actually, because coffee was traded into Yemen through their own to the Sahel of Yemen. Sahel means the coast of Yemen.
Ethiopia.
The kingdom
did-
of Ethiopia conquered Yemen
in what century?
before the times of the Prophet. If you want, I can pull out, like, it's pretty well documented.
In the time of Muhammad, was Ethiopia? No, Yemen was not controlled by Ethiopia in the time of Muhammad.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm
There,
saying
there
no, I'm
was
saying
a,
your point about like a
there,
bunch
there
of
was a conflict where you had a Jewish king who in Yemen who was subjugating Christians, and he was deposed by an Ethiopian Christian king. But I don't think then the king assumed control of Yemen following that. I think his name was Abraha in the time of Muhammad.
expansion under Khalid, 6th century AD is when they got into Yemen and went to Asir and
And it ended when?
under expansion under Khalid, 6th century AD.
And it ended when? The expansion ended when?
Probably around 6th century AD as well.
Okay
The
then.
Arabs came
So
in.
then that is not sufficient to then say that the reason why you have Yemenis there today is for a short stint where
again,
the Ethiopian
again,
Empire
again.
controlled a small portion
They-
of Yemen.
Yeah, that's not a small portion. That's actually where most of the population lives.
It's a populous area, but in wider Yemen, it's not a large piece of land. So just because they controlled it for a
It's the
small
most
period of
populous
time,
area of Yemen.
It's the
That's
most
why there is a
populous
north.
area. but it's not the largest area. So they
Yeah, it's not
controlled a small
large.
section of Yemen.
Again,
And in
again.
that time, that's not enough to justify why today you have
Again.
significant people
Again.
of Somali descent
That's
in
the
Yemen.
expansion into
That was
interior
because
Yemen.
of slavery.
Again,
And I'll show
expansion
you.
to interior Yemen.
I'll show you.
There's a difference between interior and
I'll show
exterior.
you some-
You are what interior and exterior means. Exterior means the coast. They owned the coast probably for hundreds of years, around like the 5th century to the 6th century. That is 100 years. 100 years is an ample time to read into the population. Same way you're saying, it's not, enough time. I don't really get your point. Again, you're just like, in 1936,
So you have, you have two variants. You have the version of Somali slavery, which you have then things like the history of it begins as far back as the 1500s, where Abyssinians sold off people to Arabia. So
again, pre-Islamic Arabia.
no,
Jahiliyyah.
this is in the 1500s.
1500s.
So that would be far after the Jahiliyyah. So the
Jahiliyyah
no-
al-Ula, there's two.
is before Islam. The notion remains that what effectively occurred here is that in any way you want to slice it, Arabs were involved in the slavery of Somalians going into Arabia and then settling in Yemen.
Well, yeah,
so
but you're saying 1500s when the Somali became mostly Muslim. 99% of the population
I
is Muslim.
don't know when they
I don't think that
became-
only comes from an economy.
I think they became mostly Muslim in the 1990s after they had their civil war, because then they had a sizable Christian population. They even had an archbishop Archbishop of Somalia, but unfortunately he was killed during the war in the 90s. So the answer is 1990s.
But
Additionally,
before that, it was still a majority Muslim country. It was like still predominantly Muslim.
predominantly, but not exclusively Muslim.
It's, not exclusive, it's still not exclusively Muslim.
aside
There's still a
from-
lot of
well, no,
Christians,
it's
but
basically
it's
90.
now become a much smaller minority.
There are
I
aren't
do
even
agree,
a
I do agree.
1,000 Christians in Somalia.
I do
currently.
agree. The jihadists have absolutely ruined Somalia. I fully agree with that actually. I believe that jihadists in general are not really justified.
That's outside the point of what we're talking about. The point remains that no matter which way you slice it, there's enough evidence to
Right.
suggest that
What about
Muhammad is
Indonesia?
against black people.
What again? You keep on bringing up. Do you know?
Yes.
I told you examples today. Bilal ibn Rabah, who was purchased before the migration.
Not good enough. Because Bilal
It
wasn't
wasn't
purchased.
purchased because of his voice.
It was. Bilal was
Oh
purchased
my
because of
God.
his voice. Because he heard him and thought, hey, you know what? I can get this slave to sing for me for the rest of his life.
You say wait. Who did he say bought Bilal?
Abu Bakr did it.
Yeah. And then what did he do with it? With the Bilal?
He made him start singing.
No. And what's the good of that hadith?
So this hadith is simply talking about when Abu Bakr purchased him. So this is
Raqaba.
this is in Sahih Bukhari.
Why did Abu Bakr purchase him?
Muhammad told him to do so
Why did Muhammad tell him to do so?
because of his voice.
No, because Bilal ibn Rabah was a Muslim who was being oppressed by his leaders, by his owners. His owners would put a massive rock
Stone
on his chest,
on his chest.
on his chest, and
Yep,
tell him,
yep.
renounce
Islam, and he
renounce
wouldn't do it.
Islam.
I
And
know
then
the
he'd
story.
say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. I'd say that's a very good reason to tell someone to buy and free a slave.
Not necessarily, because Muhammad wouldn't do it out of the kindness of his own heart. It cost him something. So he just do it to
I mean,
increase the
Abu
number of
Bakr was a
slaves.
really wealthy man, so I don't really get your point. Like, it cost him something, but to him it wasn't that significant. Same way, Uthman ibn Affan, may God be pleased with him, still does charitable acts to this day, even though he's dead. He has something called a waqf. A waqf is when you
You build something or do something, a library, a charity, it lasts
know.
beyond you. Yeah.
charity lasts
I'm
beyond
aware.
beyond you. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that's not really doing him any favors, because it doesn't really go against the idea that he, and Muhammad in particular, had a very low opinion of black people and black things. If a black dog walks past you as you're praying, it's invalidated. What if a white dog does it? It's fine.
Yeah, it also sure.
The only things that invalidate your prayer are a woman walking in front of you or a black dog. Nothing else.
or any person walking in front of you also invalidates your prayer.
That's not what it says. It says women and black dogs.
What? Habibi, you really need to learn more about the religion before you start speaking.
There's a reason why I say these things. I know about them.
No, you clearly don't. Musa alayhi salam, Moses.
Pull out something and I show. So basically, if you're saying no, pull out something and show me this is false.
Bilal ibn Rabah was a free man. I can pull out a hadith for you.
Go for it.
Good. Where did we get to?
Well, he's still, despite what I've shown him, he still doesn't believe that, despite if anyone else did those actions, he would call them racist. For Muhammad, though, he's not racist because he freed a single black person.
No, I didn't say that.
That's why he's not racist.
عن جابر قال عمر
Yeah.
رضي الله عنه يقول أبو بكر سيدنا وأعتق سيدنا يعني بلالا. Alright, I'm going to translate. I'm first.
Yeah. Don't worry. Go ahead. Read it.
Abu Bakr is our master, and he emancipated our master, meaning Bilal.
Is that it?
That's it. That's hadith. It's hadith.
So because you call somebody your master, that means
No,
that,
and he emancipated our master. Do you know what emancipation is?
well,
I'm quite sure.
it depends, right?
You seem to be like a native English speaker. to be
So
honest,
when you emancipate somebody, right, it can mean freeing them or transferring them from one ownership to another. It can mean both. So it depends. If you look at the context of how Abu Bakr lived afterwards, he didn't go back home to his family because he was from Abyssinia. He didn't go back home there. He instead stayed with Muhammad and sang every day.
After the death of Muhammad, Abu Bakr was still a caliphate. He's according to your version, he still owned Bilal. Why would he let Bilal leave Medina, go to where he went? Because I forgot where exactly where. I think he went to.
Unless Muhammad. So Muhammad, for example, would unless Muhammad transferred.
Let me finish. Talking,
Go
please.
for it.
Because Abu Bakr was the owner, even at the time of the Prophet. Why would Abu Bakr let him go where he wanted to go, due to his sadness over the death of the Prophet Muhammad? And then when he came back, he accepted it into Medina and opened it with open arms. When he realized Bilal didn't really want to be in Medina, he let him go where he wanted to go. I don't really think that that's the actions of a slave master. I mean, I'm quite sure if Abu Bakr liberated Abyssinia, he would have let Bilal go to Abyssinia with his family.
So he's dead, and Abu Bakr is upset, so he goes home.
No, Abu Bakr isn't upset. Bilal is upset.
Sorry, he's dead. He's dead. Bilal is upset and he goes home. Well, who knows? Bilal could be upset for a number of reasons.
He was upset because of the Prophet's death.
Maybe there was something owed to him that Muhammad never gave him. Maybe he was due some amount of compensation for the work that he had done, and Muhammad now can't pay him. Who knows why he was upset?
Do you know what? Because the story goes like this. He cried upon saying Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. He was in tears when he was saying the Prophet's name again after his death. Because when you lose a close friend, you get hurt. You find it hard to mention that close friend. I've gone through that. I don't know if you've gone through that.
Maybe
I've
he's indoctrinated.
Please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's indoctrinated. He's indoctrinated.
He has so much that you cry. You know, people cry for their people that abuse people and that they cry for the people that abuse
Stockholm syndrome is a thing.
Stockholm syndrome is a thing.
It is a thing.
But the whole of Islam is under Stockholm syndrome.
Well, not necessarily. Just relating to Abu Bakr. But the point still remains that because somebody frees a black person so they can sing for them, doesn't then mean that they're not racist if they say a series of other things that are racist.
I can give you more examples. Till the Day of Judgment, but I'm not going to do that.
No, we were talking about this one.
racist non-slave.
Yeah, I know there's plenty of racist non-slave.
And judging by the data that we have on Muhammad, it doesn't appear that he had a high opinion of black people. Instead, he has a low opinion of black people.
Okay, then why did he bring Bilal as the example?
To sing for him, that's all. That's
as
all.
the example
to sing.
on why Islam's not
To
racist.
sing for him, that's all. Well, no, so
Lots
Bilal.
of racist people bring black people to sing for them centre
Yeah,
stage as well.
black people.
Like for example, the owner of the previous owner of the Clippers basketball team, right? He brings mostly black NBA players to play for his team and earn all this money.
But he has a low opinion of them.
But he has a low opinion of them.
So if I said, well, if following that line of thinking, why would a racist pay black people millions of dollars
yes,
to play for him, to sing for him? You know, same thing.
I mean, that's something else. But again,
It's the same kind of concept.
Again. But the Prophet pointed to Bilal when he said, "لا فرق بين عربي أو عجمي إلا بالتقوى." There is no difference between an Arab man and a foreign man except for what's the word in English?
So the problem with that statement is that number one,
I'm trying to think. Yeah,
number one, it's not all encompassing. There are various ethnic groups and colors that aren't mentioned. For example, Chinese and Indians aren't mentioned. So
yeah, but that's why he gave. You know what Ajmin means? Ajmin means foreigner.
yes.
he's bringing it to everyone.
he gave black people, white people, Arabs, and then foreigners. So does that mean that black people are not foreigners?
I have a question. You are aware that most Arab people are brown, right? From the time of Prophet.
So when I say black, I am talking about somebody with significant African ancestry.
Yeah.
Are Arabs people with significant African ancestry? No.
I mean, if you don't get technically we all have African ancestry.
Significance. Significance. No.
Technically, we're all fully African. If you
No.
really wanna go
No.
that same,
That is not. That's not accurate.
About ethnic.
Yeah, I'm talking. If you want to go technically speaking.
That's not accurate. So just because at some point in time the earliest ancestors for all people who exist outside of Africa came from Africa, doesn't then mean that those people then have significant African ancestry. They don't. They have partial African ancestry. So, in the same way, when I say a black person, I don't care if there's somebody who's tanned or like deeply red or brown because of sunlight. Are they Africans? The answer is no. So they wouldn't be classified as black people, either colloquially or technically. So just because there are some dark-skinned Arabs who are not from Africa doesn't then mean that supposedly Arabs can't be racist because black people are dark and so are
I
they.
think Arabs aren't racist. I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying that Muhammad
was
is a product of his time, and he was just as racist to African people as the rest of the Arabs were at the same time. And the only examples that you have are so.
I'm
take
giving examples
this.
of people he's treated with full.
Did you
All right.
have the example of the
Got,
unkempt
got,
hair?
got the unkempt hair, got the raisin heads, got the left shoulder, and got the 7 black
Because
slaves.
I just sometimes when I think about things like this, I just say, imagine if like current day politicians.
I
or
said that
people
to
of
him.
influence
I said that to him.
this.
I said that to him.
Like if someone like Donald Trump had said to his audience, if
So
he'd have said that,
he agreed that the raisin head comment was being made to racist Arabs. But the problem with that, why would you talk to racists and then use the terminology?
If I went to the KKK and used that same language, so it's not a problem at all. You know,
Hey, listen.
Because I'm in the company, I'm allowed to use that language.
Yeah. So
probably get a standing ovation.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly, but it wouldn't mean that I exactly, you know what I mean? Clearly said it because, you know what?
And then let me even show another one that I find very interesting. So this is about a Habesha slave. Give me a.
Habesha is Abyssinia.
Exactly. Yep. So she's black.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. Let me show you this other one.
What's this that he probably
This is a very interesting one. It's one where a Habesha slave of Muhammad drinks the urine from Muhammad's pee buckets for some reason. Yes. And so my explanation for this is that she was severely dehydrated. And why was that? Because she wasn't being offered enough water. So she drank urine. And then Muhammad's understanding of it.
They did drink camel pee, to be fair.
What was she camel pee with milk? Well, she just drank Muhammad's urine.
Oh.
So give me a second. I'll show it to you.
Maybe they might say Muhammad's urine
Well-
has like a
I'm
spiritual
not gonna say
effect
it.
on those that drink.
Muhammad apparently responds to her that the fires of hell will not touch her. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. But I'll show you.
So the fires of hell will not touch you
Because-
if you drink the Prophet's urine.
Yes.
just sounds like a-
According to this hadith.
Because if someone came up to me and said they're a prophet of God and
Yep.
said, if you drink my urine,
Yep.
you will go to heaven, I would be highly skeptical of that claim, to say the least.
So
Like a funny movie you might watch.
Yeah.
this is the hadith here. So Imam Jalal Uddin reports by this person, that person, who narrates from this person, that person, that person, that the prophets had a wooden bowl in which he used to urinate in, and it was placed under his bed. One night, the prophets searched for it, but could not find it, and asked for it, saying, "Where is the bowl?" The member of the household replied, Salma's slave girl, Baka, drank from it, who came from Habasha with her. The prophet said, "Surely she has protected herself from the fires with a great wall." And Imam Nuruddin says that the people who transmitted this are the same men that transmitted the hadith in Bukhari.
Wait.
And
Do you know what book this is from? There's
Yes,
one-
this is one right here.
Can you please?
Majmuz
I want the exact
Zawib, page 270 to 271. Yep, it's right there.
Your argument here is that
It appears, yes.
yeah, if the black woman had the same rights in his view
As anybody else? She
she'd
wouldn't
be
need to
given
resort.
water and not urine.
And wouldn't need to resort to drinking urine.
Yes.
Because there's no way she would have known that drinking urine would protect her with a great wall. Unless she herself was looking at prophets. So again, why is it black people?
Sometimes I wonder
yeah.
why even narrate some of these hadiths.
Hey
Why-
man,
Why not just be
It's-
like, I'm just gonna scratch that out?
they didn't think that they were going to face any kind of consequence for doing so. It's that simple.
Oh, it's the city versus Liverpool game.
Hey, so you did a wrap up for the previous conversation,
I did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, Joe, you're looking at the book? Just type in PDF and you probably find it. So just type in this and then PDF.
No,
So-
I know.
Bye.
Look for Majmal's Zawadi.
Don't worry.
I thought it
Don't
was
worry.
No, it's
Al-Fatani.
someone else's.
I'm a Man City fan, bro.
You see it, yeah? Oh,
Again, most of these people who are praising him are nobodies in Islamic history.
Imam Nuruddin is I think oh no, that's a different person. Imam Nuruddin is legit. He's from the 13th century. He's legitimate. So if he reads the Hadith and clarifies that the people who transmitted the same manner transmitted Bukhari, then again, there's another problem here.
Again, same man. You're aware that there's quite a few hadiths in Bukhari that are annulled.
Yes,
meaning that they have a weak chain of transmission.
Again, right? So the legend of Bukhari is that he memorized 600,000 hadiths and then willed them down to 7,000 hadiths because he has such a very stringent mechanism of making sure that the people who were in the chain
but
had
again,
met each other in real life.
there's
So
still a
now
lot of annulled
you're
hadiths in
still
Bukhari.
saying that isn't enough.
No,
So,
I'm not saying
but
that isn't
before-
enough. I'm saying that the major scholars of Islam have agreed that there are some hadiths in Bukhari that are sahih. However, they are annulled in terms of the chain of transmission.
I trust Bukhari more than modern scholars. Therefore,
I'm not talking about modern scholars, by the way.
who are you talking about?
There's multiple scholars from
So this is
all
from
times.
the chains of Bukhari that have been limited to
Ibn Taymiyyah.
7,000.
7,000.
So
Even that.
Okay, if all 7,000.
Mate, how many cameras are you guys gonna get on me?
I don't know.
And look, mate, to be honest, I'm not really comfortable with cameras, like in general.
Okay, that's fine. Well, we can end it if you'd like. No, not a problem. Or if you don't mind, just blur them out if you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay,
They're blurring my face out.
yeah.
Please.
So then my kind of thing is if it's limited to 7,000.
I'll actually blur it out. I will.
If it's limited to 7,000 hadith,
No, please
right?
blur it out because, like, again,
Only two
I don't want to
cameras.
get in trouble in other stuff, you know, 'cause-
Obviously, we understand.
Yeah.
Please blur 'em out.
They'll blur you
I
out.
didn't record. Only.
Whoever, then just blur them out.
Okay.
So then the issue to me seems to be that if he's narrowed it down to 7,000 hadith, and in all 7,000 Bukhari at least claims that there is a chain of narration and all of those people have met each other, and you're saying that some of those are unreliable, it seems to call into question all of those narrations that Bukhari has as well, because then the person that compiled them is unreliable.
It was his own.
And potentially even someone that he left out may indeed actually be reliable. So now it calls into question the entirety of Bukhari. Who trusts anything in Bukhari?
You know what? Alright, I'll look into it more. I'll be honest, look into it more. Peace.
Okay, God bless man.
But please do actually blur me out. I will.
They will definitely, if they don't blur you out, I will get onto everyone here.
No, please
I will
don't.
tell them
Actually,
you
please
have
blur
to
me out
blur
because
this
this
guy
could
out.
get me into a lot of trouble. Okay?
We're not interested in getting you in trouble.
I know.
So
I know.
we'll blur
So
it.
yeah, please. That's what I'm just saying.
Don't
Please
worry,
blur it out.
they've all verbally agreed.
But,
Okay.
but,
I heard.
my point still remains.
Okay, what's
Yeah,
the
your
point?
point still remains.
If
Yeah.
anybody did those things that are referenced in the hadith
okay.
today,
I said
they
look-
wouldn't be called a nice person.
No way.
I'll look into it.
So that was my original points. That's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day. Yeah, just blur him. He's a cool guy. Because he was right here the entire time, so he shouldn't be trying to just like sort of thing.
Blur that section
Yeah,
of the video.
yeah. But effectively, his point is that Muhammad isn't racist because Bilal.
So did he just come up to you and say Muhammad isn't racist?
I said something relating to Shamsi. Someone walked past me and said, "You worship like a white man." So I said, "Muhammad's racist," and then he said, "No, he's not." And then
Okay, that's
had to show the receipts. Because the first one was the best. I told him if I had 100 white slaves and a black slave came to me and pledged his allegiance to the Davidites, and then I took him under my wing, and his master came back and wanted to take back that slave, and I said, hey, keep him with me. But here, I got 2 white slaves for you. I asked him, will I be racist? He says yes. I pull out the hadith.
Muhammad
And I said,
the 2 Arab slaves for one black
well,
slave.
maybe the black slaves weren't Muslim, or maybe.
So he agreed that was racist. And
Yeah,
then when,
principally.
so
the
you
racist.
basically pulled the trap card out.
Yep. And I tried to get him to agree to another one, and he was very, very careful for the second one, relating to the raisin head. So for him, the raisin head just means an old black man.
It's funny that like the intuitions of these people say this is immoral, this is racist,
Yep.
da 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 da, and then as soon as you bring it up, it's like,
Well-
maybe not.
In this context, I wouldn't call it racist, just selective. Well, that's pretty much the whole story. Anyway,
Thank you.
all done.